process with narrative descriptions of the work we've done, supported by photos, videos, and data to showcase the impact on schools. We proudly anticipate that both LCHS and LCN will receive the Platinum School of Distinction Awards this year, which is the highest honor we can achieve. It is a challenge for us to briefly convey the impact of this work in our buildings, as some areas are truly immeasurable. In just a few short years, we have grown our leadership courses, added extracurricular opportunities for students, increased academic achievement while creating supports for behavior and attendance, provided additional mental health support, connected students to school, and strengthened relationships, defined what it means to be a crusader or lancer, and united our two school communities more than they've ever been before. We had to rebuild and repair after COVID, and while the work has only begun, we believe we are headed in the right direction. We've included data and results both buildings have collected since implementing this framework. Please take the time to look and recognize the work these large student bodies are doing. She has posted a link to our email that was sent to us with a PowerPoint presentation explaining this data and results. We understand there may be a need in the future for us to fund this conference differently, but now we ask that you vote to allow student travel for this school year, as it has already been approved by the BOA, Board of Education, in our ZBB process. Sincerely, Alicia Samborski, LCHS Principal, and Meredith Beard, LCN Principal.
So there's just a couple of issues that I have with that. I don't appreciate the principals making scathing comments about the very community that funds their trip as well as their paychecks. That's number one. Number two, it's disheartening that the last trip to Orlando, Florida cost us $33,474.02. We just approved a $7.6 million amendment to our current fiscal budget for the 24-25 school year. I've asked, and no one has provided me with any type of data where it shows in the budget that this particular field trip was paid for. In fact, I haven't gotten any particular numbers, unless you have them tonight, Mr. Howell, about how many other field trips are completely funded by the district for the tune of $33,474.02. I think it's very disproportionate and it's very disingenuous to the rest of the schools among this district when we're only celebrating 2 high schools. We have 19 different schools in this district. This isn't a benefit to them. And at $33,474.02 from last year, that's somebody's pay. And I can guarantee if they're going to California for 3 days, it's going to cost probably every bit of $37,000 to $40,000 for this trip for both schools. I mean, we're sending them on a trip on how to be decent people and how to treat the student body and their faculty. Yes, that's what it sounds like. We all saw the video if we were here at the last meeting of everybody having a good time. Is there a reason why a bookkeeper went? What was the purpose of sending a bookkeeper? I'm asking Mr. Howell.
Well, Mr. Howell wasn't here at the time, and at the end of the day, the staff went through this process through zero-based budgeting, and they presented it, and we approved it.
Okay, well, why, I've asked for this document numerous times, why haven't I gotten it? You say it was all approved in the budget, the last budget.
Yeah, so in the Friday update, I provided the document with the information right from the ZBB.
No, you gave us what it was costing Lance Creuse Central for this trip.
That was an excerpt from the ZBB budget on this process.
No, that tells me what they've spent so far on registration.
I'll resend it tomorrow.
Please. I mean, how can we justify this expense? And then on top of it, we're looking at a $1.285 million brand new deficit that's going to be listed under agenda item I3. I mean, at what point are we going to stop doing it? I mean, and it's a field trip. I can understand understand if PD days resulted from it, but this is a field trip. How many other students? Would Ryan Senegal be taken on this field trip? Would he have been? What's the criteria for it? We just pick and choose who we want, who the good kids are? And you're talking about climate and culture, but when it's the kids that need it the most, you're skipping the kids that need it the most.
I believe they're picking the kids from a leadership class to go and learn, and then bring these things they're learning at this convention back to the school to implement, which is what we heard tonight from Ms. Ashburn, which is what we heard in the email, and it's also was approved on the budget.
That was before we had $7.6 million deficit.
Okay, it's not these kids and this program's fault that the board approved $1 million deficit going into last year. It's not this program's fault. $30,000 out of $7 million is 0.003%.
So we haven't even discussed the next budgetary meeting and what cuts need to be made. So we're comfortable sending people to the bread lines so that we can have, I don't know, 18, 19 people go to a Jostens conference and have a good time. That's what we're justifying. We haven't even discussed how many people may or may not have jobs this next year.
Having a good time is what our teachers do here in a learning environment. So I appreciate that they're having a good time while they're learning.
Well, let me tell you what, I wish I could go to training to learn to love my job. I'm sorry, a field trip to learn to love my job.
It's all right, they're going to lose the federal funding.
Okay, so what we have to remember here is that every trip, even in our policy, it says must be educational. We must explain, the correlation here. Why are we going to send our students and staff on a trip? What's the benefit from it? So that already has to be acknowledged and filled out before the trip gets approved. Yeah, I sure hope they have fun when they're on a trip. My son, when he was in high school, did computer programming class, went down to Atlanta for a massive competition. Got an enormous number of certifications that helped him professionally. Did they have fun while they were there? I sure hope so. Did they learn while they were there? Yes, they did. To the point, yes, we now have this issue, but the board approved it. You can't pull the rug out from underneath them at this point. That is wrong. That is wrong. I personally would like to see a little more of coming in and sharing what happened at these conferences, because this sounds like an awesome leadership conference for our students. What the heck are we talking about? This is for our students. This is for our students. This makes them better students. And the fact that they want to take it from their school and share it down the line to other students in the district, probably give them their teachers when they go off to a conference, they come back, they share it, and it goes out into the district, right? The Friday update indicated, actually, that there are 13 of 17 buildings in this district that also get for field trips, and there was a list of the different field trips, either partial or full funding from the district. So the dollar amount is more, it's a bigger trip, I understand it, but I'm just going to say this out loud one more time. Some on this board fought hard for and got $1 million per football field, per tennis court, and per track for 2 high schools, while we had a deficit, while we shouldn't have done it because we didn't have the money. But somehow we did, because it was vitally important. If this isn't vitally important, I have no clue what the heck we're doing here.
Going bankrupt.
I'm sorry, I'm not done. I'm sorry, exactly what does this do to increase our testing scores?
They're going to go bankrupt.
Long time ago, first day of school, we had a speaker, motivational speaker. Her name was Dr. Rita Pearson. And she was wonderful. But the keynote of her message was, students don't learn from people they don't like. They don't learn from situations that are foisted upon them. They learn through relationships, as we all do. And whether it's 5 teachers going to a conference that bring it back to the other 30 teachers or 40 teachers or to the rest of the district. It's important because we need to develop the relationships that are going to help students achieve. Thank you.
Jeff, and then Adam, and then next thing.
All right, so I just want to reiterate.
Some of the worst schools in
the email.
the country.
For Johnson representatives that come through in a huge way, sponsoring $9,600, which will cover the cost for student expense. Doesn't that make this a moot point? This is not a completely sponsored field for a trip by the district anymore. It's also 4 days, and we're making an opinion based on a 60-second video that we saw last week. So I've gone on trips like this before, and it's not below shows and parties the whole time. They have to do something to make it interesting. I think we should give kudos to the Samborsky and Dr. Beard for finding more funding at the last minute. It's fantastic. All you want. It's not entirely district funded anymore. And also, last I checked, culture and climate will worth a whole lot more than 20 grand.
Adam?
Thank you. Just real quick, Mrs. Ross, you have any timestamp image, correct? Okay, just, well, you can call these out. Again, I just one comment that I would like to make is I find it a little shameful and disgraceful that we have teachers and administrators that are somewhat fearful going up to that podium, which should be a free and open space to do that in fear of retaliation. With that, I believe
From who?
one of the board members were able to
They're making up lies.
Okay, I would like to call.
Fairy tales. Nobody threatened anybody.
Call the question. Okay,
They want to be a victim.
call the question has been supported. The call of the question now goes to the vote of the consent agenda on a roll call vote. I'm sorry, technical.
They want to be a victim.
Roll call and discussion.
And discussion and go to vote.
And then maybe we'll vote on the agenda.
Correct.
I'm sorry, Adam, say that again.
This is a vote to call to question, and then we'll vote to move to the consent agenda if the call to the question passes. Vote to vote.
Vote to call the question. Mr. Lipsky.
Yes.
Mr. Cypress.
Yes.
Mr. Dawes.
Yes.
Mrs. Herndon. No. Mr. Davia.
Yes.
Mrs. Ross is yes.
Shameful.
5-1.
Okay, consent agenda vote has been motioned by Mr. Davia and supported by Mr. Cypress. Roll call vote, please. Mrs. Ross.
Approval of consent agenda. Mr. Cypress.
Yes.
Mr. Davia.
Yes.
Mr. Dawes.
Yes.
Mrs. Herndon. No. Mr. Lipsky.
Yes.
And Mrs. Ross, yes. 5-1.
Okay, motion passes 5-1. On to technology. Technology firewall support recommendation.
Jesus.
Entertain a motion. Motion by Mr. Davia, and support by Mr. Cypress. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries 6-0. On to letter H, operations. Entertain a motion for the abatement associated with the axe flooring project. Motion by Mr. Cypress, second by Mr. Davia. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. On to other matters. Letter to the prosecutor update. We moved the bond program project series before patrons.
This is my agenda item. As I promised to the community that I would be in communication with the police department to ask if this investigation is being picked up, what's going on.